Hello, I'm going to walk you through our project on implementing a Mutation Observer API for Servo. Before we go into the details of the project, let's have a brief discussion on the background of Servo and Rust. So Servo is an open source web browser engine designed for application and embedded use. It's a high performance browser engine created by Mozilla Research and it's written in Rust. So Rust here is the general purpose programming language sponsored by Mozilla. It is designed to be thread safe and a concurrent language for parallel programming purposes. Rust is syntactically similar to C++, but is designed for better memory safety while taking care of performance trade-offs. So our problem statement is the following. It is to implement the Mutation Observer API in Rust for Servo. So what is a mutation observer? A mutation observer is a feature which allows you to detect when elements in a web page are either inserted, changed, or removed. For example, a text or an element in a web page is changed or inserted or removed. So where does this mutation observer help? So this mutation observer provides developers a way to react to changes in the document object model or the DOM. So what does the DOM standard define this as? The DOM standard defines a mutation observer API as an API that allows web content to receive callbacks when the web pages are mutated. So the fundamental goal of this project is to implement the pieces required to support this API. Our solution design is the following. Our solution design is a typical case of observer pattern in object-oriented programming, where the DOM object is the subject and the mutation observer is the observer. A mutation observer can be defined here as an object with a set of properties and methods. It lets us to observe a change on any node. By mutation, what we mean is the following. We mean an addition or removal of a node and changes to a node's attribute or data or both. Let's now go into the implementation details of our project. So the implementation of our project can be divided into three important parts. The first part being the constructor and the mutation record. So the constructor is used for instantiating new mutation observers. The callback function is a function that will be called on each DOM mutation. The observer will call this function with two arguments. The first being an array of objects of mutation record type, and the second being a mutation observer instance. And then let's move on to the mutation record. So mutation record represents an individual DOM mutation. It is the object that is passed to the mutation observer's callback. So the second most important part of the implementation is writing the observe method. The observe method registers the mutation observer instance to receive notifications of DOM mutations for a specified node. So here is the final part of our project. This is to queue a mutation record. The function of this is the following. So each time the value of an attribute changes, a new mutation record needs to get added to the queue. We have implemented a function called queue a mutation record to realize this. And currently we have defined the type mutation to be a change in attribute. This can be further extended to other types in the future. So coming to the test cases, our tests are written to verify the mutation of an attribute, and we believe that our test would provide enough code coverage for our implementation. So some of our test scenarios are the following. For example, considering a scenario where there is an old attribute and an update happens, considering a scenario where there is no attribute in the document and an update happens on it, or when a new update is the same as the old value, or when multiple attributes in document are updated, or when there is an invalid character in the updated attribute, or when multiple old attributes are removed. So these are some of the representative examples that our test scenarios comprise of. We now have come to a conclusion on our presentation for Mutation Observer API. Thanks a lot for watching this video.